Hello everyone. Today is going to be a fairly short video. With the Dutch ships being added, we are starting to see people testing them, and we are starting to see the airstrikes in action. In this case, the enemy team has a 3-man Good and Loot division, and well, the game has just started. As you can see, it's 1 minute 40 into this game. The Alaska is pushing up, trying to position behind the island here so he doesn't get completely wrecked. And this is when things start going very poorly. He pops Hydra because Gearing was spotted. One Good and Lewis spotted, but he's actually 13 kilometers away. The second one is spotted because he shoots. Villet actually has, with the full stealth build on that ship, he actually has 10.3 km concealment. And what we don't get any warning of is that he's called in airstrikes on top of this Alaska. And only now, suddenly, do they render right on top of this Alaska. They drop in, and before AA really has had time to basically do much, they have dropped their airstrike. And this is what it looks like to be on the receiving end of a tier 10 Dutch airstrike. Yeah, that's a quadruple fire. That's basically all the AA broken, and that's the ship basically dead. Now, I have multiple issues with this. First of all, the time between the plane spawning and actually dropping the payload is something like 14 seconds. There's no real indicator of where the bombs are dropping. There's no UI element. They just drop them all over the place. And when there's triple stacked like this, you basically get, well, it's extremely hard to know which way to evade because there's very little indication of where the bombs are going to drop. The second issue is, well, you might actually notice that these planes, they spawn at roughly 4.5 kilometers, but by the time the AA starts shooting, they're within 3.5. So Flak basically doesn't even have time to shoot at these planes. So the whole nonsense about AA being able to deal with this, well, it doesn't really seem to be happening. Another thing is, you might be thinking, well, this is 3 of these ships working together, dropping at the same time, but it actually isn't. If you look carefully at the names, you note that it's Villet, that Good and Lou that sailed in close, that's actually dropping all 3 at once. Because, well, you can stack 3 airstrikes and then you can drop them all on the same target. And that's exactly what is done. The range on this airstrike is 13 kilometers. And the concealment on the Good and Lou is 10.3 with the full stealth build. So you can literally drop these ships from a stealth. Now, I will admit, the visuals are quite impressive. You can even see the individual bombs deploying, the parachutes deploying, and once again the art department has really gone ham on this. But in terms of gameplay, I swear, Wargaming at this point, they're just playing Dare to see what's the dumbest possible change to the game that they could have made. Because, well, here zooming in, you see the individual bombs, the individual parachutes deploying. Once again, visually very cool. But when you're being on the receiving end of this, not really that cool and not really that enjoyable, because this is 2 minutes 30 into the game and a basically undetected ship just HE nuked this Alaska to absolute shit. Note that if you're a BB in this position, well, you're basically going to experience the same thing, probably even worse considering you're an even larger surface area to hit. And considering how quickly these bombs seem to deploy and drop, a battleship will struggle to even accelerate out of the way or even turn out of the way, especially with a triple stack drop like this. Visually, very beautiful. From a gameplay and balance perspective, well done Wargaming. You have actually come up with one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Once again, every time, like, what the hell? Well, this, who thinks of this? I don't even see what the counterplay is, considering the ship literally outspots most of the other tier 10 surface ships. Absolutely baffling once again. Well done. Thank you.